What is up, guys? With almost all countries finally open for tourism, I think we are all incredibly excited to travel to some new destinations this year, so here is my top 10 places to visit in 2026. With tourism back to normal, 2026 is going to be a year full of travel, whether you explore the tropical landscapes of St. Lucia or experience the unique cultures of Africa. I hope you can all visit some new places this year. I have put together a list of the destinations that stand out the most. We are going to look at places that offer incredible scenery and amazing experiences, from the mountains of South America to the clearest water in the Pacific Ocean. Here's my top 10 places to visit in 2026. Number 10. Patagonia. Let's start this list at the very bottom of the world. Literally, we are going to Patagonia. This massive region covers the southern tips of both Chile and Argentina, and in 2026, this is exactly where you need to be. You might be wondering why I am sending you so far away. I know the flight is long, I know the ticket to get there is expensive, but here is the secret that most travelers miss. Once you actually land in Patagonia, the math changes completely, especially if you are on the Argentina side. Your dollar here is like a superpower. You can eat the absolute best steak of your life for the price of a fast food burger back home. You can drink world-class wine for less than the cost of a bottle of water at a theme park. You pay a lot to get here, but you pay very little to live like a king once you arrive. That is the definition of smart travel, but let's talk about why we really come here. It is not just for the cheap dinner, it is for the silence. In a world that is getting louder and more crowded every single day, Patagonia is the antidote. It is one of the few places left where you can walk for hours and not see another person. Just you and the wind. The weather here has actually calmed down compared to the last few years. Scientists say 2026 is going to be one of the best years in a decade for clear skies down here. That means you actually get to see the mountains you came for. One of the most famous spots is Torres del Paine on the Chilean side. It is a national park that feels like another planet. You have these massive granite towers shooting straight up into the sky. You have lakes that are a color of blue that does not look real. It looks like someone spilled bright blue paint into the water. Hiking here is hard work. I am not going to lie to you. The hike to the base of the towers is a full day of sweating. It is 12 miles round trip. Your legs will burn. Your lungs will burn. But when you get to that lake at the top and you look up at those towers, you forget all of that. You realize that the best things in life really are free. You just have to be willing to walk to them. Then you have Fitzroy on the Argentina side. This mountain is so beautiful, it almost looks fake. It is the mountain you see on the logo of the clothing brand Patagonia. Seeing it in real life is 100 times better than seeing it on a jacket. We hiked to a lake called Laguna de los Tres to get the best view. It was another long day, 14 miles of walking, but walking through those forests was incredible. Actually, drinking water straight from the streams because it is so clean. It resets your brain. If you are tired of the noise of modern life, this is where you go to unplug. Number 9. Albania. Now we are going to head over to Europe, but we are skipping the places everyone else is going to. Forget about Greece for a minute. Forget about Italy for a minute. We are going to their neighbor, Albania. If you want to know where the smart money is going in Europe in 2026, it is right here. Albania is the best deal in the Mediterranean right now. It is not even close. You have the same blue water as Greece. You have the same delicious food as Italy. You have the same dramatic mountains, but you are paying half the price, maybe even less. Why pay $500 a night for a hotel room in Santorini when you can get a beachfront view here for 80? It just makes sense. People used to worry about the roads here. They used to say it was hard to get around. That is old news. They have built new highways. They have fixed the infrastructure. You can now get from the capital city to the mountains in just a couple of hours. And speaking of mountains, you have to see the Albanian Alps. There is a village called Theth that looks like a fairy tale. Stone houses, green valleys, waterfalls everywhere. We hiked to a place called the Blue Eye near there. It is a natural spring where the water bubbles up from deep underground. The water is so clear you can count the rocks on the bottom. It is also freezing cold. Jumping in there will wake you up faster than any coffee you have ever had. But my favorite part of Albania is the coast. They call it the Albanian Riviera. Oh, this is where you go to find beaches that are not covered in beach chairs and umbrellas. We took a small boat along the coast and found sea caves that you can swim into. In other countries, there would be a ticket booth, there would be a line, there would be rules. Here, the captain just stopped the boat and said, "Go for it." We swam through a tiny opening in the rock. It was dark for a second, and then it opened up into this huge dome inside the cliff. The sunlight was coming in from underwater, making everything glow blue. It was magic, and we had it all to ourselves. That is the luxury of Albania. You are not just saving money, you are getting a better experience because you are not sharing it with 1,000 other people. But you need to move fast. Word is getting out. Big hotels are starting to look at this coastline. Hey, construction cranes are showing up. This is the golden window. Come in 2026 before it turns into just another crowded tourist trap. Number 8. Puglia. Okay, I know I said to skip Italy earlier, but I didn't mean skip all of it. I meant skip the parts that are ruined by crowds. Don't go to Rome, don't go to Venice. If you want the real Italian experience in 2026, you go to Puglia. This is the region that forms the heel of the boot of Italy. This is where Italians go on vacation, and that tells you everything you need to know. The food is better because they are cooking for locals, not for tourists. The prices are lower because they are not trying to rip you off. You can get a glass of wine here for a few dollars that would cost you 20 in Florence. And the towns here are stunning. They don't look like the rest of Italy. On, they have their own unique style. Take a town called Polignano a Mare. It is built right on the edge of a limestone cliff over the sea. The houses are white, the water is turquoise. It looks like a movie set. You can walk through the narrow streets, grab a gelato, and just watch the waves crash against the rocks below. Then you have Alberobello. This place is famous for these funny little houses called trulli. They have cone-shaped roofs made of gray stone. They look like little mushrooms popping out of the ground. Walking around there feels like you are in a storybook. But my favorite place in the whole region is Otranto. It is a medieval walled city right on the water. You have these thick ancient walls that were built to stop invaders hundreds of years ago. And right next to them, you have people swimming in crystal clear water. The contrast is crazy. History and beach life mixed together perfectly. Just a short drive from there is a swimming spot called Grotta della Poesia. It is a natural pool carved into the rock. People jump off the cliffs into the water. It is pure joy. This is what a summer in Italy is supposed to feel like. It is slow. It is relaxed. Nobody is rushing you. Nobody is trying to sell you a souvenir every 5 seconds. But just like Albania, this secret is not going to last forever. People are starting to find out about Puglia. Flights are getting added. Magazines are writing about it. Right now, in 2026, it is still authentic. It still feels real. So go now, while you can still hear Italian being spoken on the streets instead of English. Number 7, St. Lucia. Now we are going to hop over to the Caribbean. When people think of the Caribbean, they usually think of big resorts. They think of crowded beaches and cruise ships. That is not what we are looking for. We want something that feels wild. We want nature. That is why we are going to St. Lucia. This island is different from the others. Most Caribbean islands are flat and sandy. St. Lucia is dramatic. It is a volcanic island. It has huge green mountains rising straight out of the ocean. The most famous ones are called the Pitons. They look like 2 giant green pyramids floating on the water. Because the island is so mountainous, it is hard to build massive hotels everywhere. The landscape protects it. It keeps the crowds away naturally. You have to work a little bit harder to get around here. The roads are winding, the hills are steep, but that is a good thing. It means you get privacy, you get space. In 2026, space is the ultimate luxury. Staying here is not cheap, I will be honest about that. This is a place where you spend a little more money, but you get what you pay for. You are not paying for a wristband and a buffet. You are paying for a front row seat to some of the best nature on the planet. My favorite thing to do here is just look at those mountains. You can take a boat ride around the base of the Pitons. Seeing them from the water makes you realize how massive they really are. Or if you are feeling brave, you can hike up them. It is hot. It is humid. It is a serious workout, but the view from the top is worth every drop of sweat. You can see the whole island. You can see the curve of the earth on the horizon. The water here is also incredible for snorkeling and diving. Because there are fewer people, the reefs are healthier. The fish are not afraid of you. We spent hours just floating in the water, watching the underwater world go by. It is peaceful. It is quiet. If you are tired of vacations where you have to fight for a beach chair at 6 a.m., St. Lucia is the answer. It is calm. It is private. It is the Caribbean, the way it was meant to be experienced. Number 6. Thailand. We are heading to Asia now, and we are going to a classic, Thailand. You might think Thailand is too popular. You might think it is too crowded, but you have to know how to do it right. In 2026, Thailand is playing a smart game. They have made it easier than ever to visit. They have new visa rules that let you stay longer without any hassle. This is huge for smart travelers. It means you don't have to rush. You can slow down, and when you slow down, you spend less money per day. Your dollar stretches further here than almost anywhere else. The food is cheap and incredible. The transportation is easy, but where should you go? Skip the busy cities for a minute. Go to Krabi, specifically go to Railay Beach. This place is special because you can't get there by car. Giant limestone cliffs cut it off from the mainland. You have to take a traditional longtail boat to get there. That little boat ride acts like a filter. It keeps the tour buses away. Once you land on that beach, you are in a different world. The cliffs hang over the water. Rock climbers from all over the world come here to test themselves. It is beautiful in a way that feels ancient, but if you really want to blow your mind, go to Khao Sok National Park. This is my secret weapon in Thailand. It is a massive rainforest that is older than the Amazon. In the middle of it, there is a huge lake called Chao Lan. Imagine huge mountains of rock shooting up out of flat green water. It looks like a scene from a dinosaur movie. It looks like Jurassic Park. You stay in little floating bungalows right on the water. You wake up in the morning, open your door, and jump straight into the lake. The water is warm. The air is misty. You can hear gibbons calling to each other in the trees. There is no cell service. There is no internet. It forces you to disconnect. And the best part? This experience costs a fraction of what you would pay for something similar in other parts of the world. You are getting 5-star scenery for a 2-star price. That is the definition of value. Thailand proves that you don't have to be rich to see the most beautiful places on earth. You just have to know where to look. Number 5. South Korea. Next up is South Korea. If Thailand is about nature and value, South Korea is about comfort and efficiency. Traveling can be stressful. We all know that. Things go wrong. Buses are late. People try to scam you. If you are tired of that stress, South Korea is your safe haven in 2026. This is the easiest place to travel in the world right now. Everything just works. The trains are on time to the second. The streets are clean enough to eat off of, and it is incredibly safe. You can leave your laptop on a table in a coffee shop, walk away for 10 minutes, and it will still be there when you get back. That peace of mind is worth a lot. We start in Seoul. This city is a mix of the future and the past. You have shiny skyscrapers right next to palaces that are hundreds of years old. You can wander through old neighborhoods with traditional wooden houses and then turn a corner and be in a neon-lit shopping district. But you don't have to stay in the city. Just outside of Seoul is Bukhansan National Park. You can take the subway to a mountain. Think about how crazy that is. You ride a clean, fast train, get off, and start hiking up a granite peak with views of the whole city. It is the perfect balance of urban life and nature. Then you have Seoraksan National Park. The mountains here are jagged and dramatic. In the fall, the trees turn bright red and orange. It is some of the best hiking in Asia. And we can't forget about Jeju Island. This is where Koreans go to relax. It is a volcanic island off the southern coast. It feels totally different from the mainland. It has a tropical vibe. There are palm trees. There are beaches with black volcanic sand. There is a huge mountain in the middle called Halasan. Hiking up that volcano in the winter when it is covered in snow is an experience I will never forget. South Korea is not the cheapest place on this list, but the return on investment is high because you never waste time or energy. You never get stuck. You never get lost. You just enjoy your trip. It is smooth. It is seamless. It is the future of travel. Number 4, Hungary. We are going back to Europe for number 4, but we are heading to the center of the continent, Hungary, specifically Budapest. If you want to feel like royalty without spending a royal fortune, this is the place. Budapest is the king of purchasing power in Europe. Your money simply buys you more here, a lot more. You can stay in a grand historic hotel for the price of a roadside motel in America. You can eat a 3-course dinner with wine for the price of a pizza in London. It feels like you found a loophole in the system. The city itself is breathtaking. It is split in half by the Danube River. river. On one side is Buda, which is hilly and old. On the other side is Pest, which is flat and buzzing with life. Connecting them is the chain bridge. Walking across that bridge at night when the Parliament building is lit up all gold and glowing is one of the best views in Europe, and it costs $0 to see it, but the real reason to come to Budapest is the baths. This city sits on a bunch of natural thermal springs. They have turned these springs into massive public bathhouses. The most famous one is Szechenyi. It looks like a yellow wedding cake. It is huge. It has outdoor pools that are steaming hot even in the middle of winter. You sit there in the warm water, playing chess with the locals on floating chessboards while snow falls around you. It is a tradition that has been around for over 100 years. It relaxes your body and your mind, and again, it is affordable. Most cities charge a fortune for spa treatments. Here, it is just part of daily life. If you want to get out of the city, drive down to Lake Balaton. It is the biggest lake in Central Europe. It is so big it feels like an ocean. The town of Tehani there is beautiful. It sits on a peninsula jutting out into the water. You have fields of lavender. You have an old abbey on the hill. It feels like the French countryside, but without the French price tag. Hungary is proof that you don't have to sacrifice quality to save money. You just have to choose the right destination. Number 3, Ethiopia. Number 3 is for the brave. It is for the people who think travel should be a challenge. We are going to Ethiopia. This is not a vacation where you sit by the pool. This is an adventure that will change how you see the world. Ethiopia is unique in Africa. It was never fully colonized. That means its culture is pure. It is deep. It is unlike anywhere else. The food, the language, the calendar, the time, everything is different here. We went to the Geralta Mountains in the north. This landscape looks like the American Southwest with red rock mesas and cliffs, but hidden in those cliffs are ancient churches. They were carved right out of the rock centuries ago. The most famous one is Abuna Yamata Gu. They call it the church in the sky, and getting there is terrifying. I am not going to sugarcoat it. You have to climb a vertical rock wall. There are no ropes. There are no safety rails. Just you, your hands, and your feet finding holes in the stone. It gets your heart racing. The adrenaline is pumping. But when you pull yourself up onto that ledge and walk into the church, it is silent. You see paintings on the walls that have been there for hundreds of years. You meet the priest who climbs that cliff every single day. It makes you rethink what is possible. It makes you realize how strong human faith can be. Then we went south to the Omo Valley. This is home to some of the most fascinating tribes on earth. We met the Bana tribe. They have these young guys called the Stick Boys. They walk around on stilts that make them 10 feet tall. They do it to see their cattle over the tall grass and to stay safe from animals. Seeing them walk down a dirt road at sunset is an image I will never get out of my head. They were laughing. They were having fun showing us how they balance. It was a pure human connection. Traveling in Ethiopia is hard work. The roads are rough. The hotels are basic. Things don't always go according to plan. You have to be patient. You have to be flexible. But the reward is a story that no one else has. You are not just seeing sights. You are living something real. In 2026, finding something that feels this real is rare. It is a raw experience, and that is worth more than any luxury hotel. Number 2, Tanzania. We are staying in Africa for number 2, but we are going from raw adventure to the ultimate nature experience. Tanzania, and specifically on the Serengeti. This is a place where you spend serious money. I want to be clear about that. Going on a safari is not cheap, but in the world of smart travel, we talk about return on investment, and the Serengeti gives you the highest return of any wildlife destination on Earth. Reports from 2026 show that the animal populations here are thriving. The conservation work is paying off. There are more lions, more leopards, and more elephants than there have been in years. It is like watching The Lion King, but in real life. And it is unscripted. We drove out onto the plains in our Jeep. The grass stretches out forever. The sky is huge. Within an hour, we saw a cheetah hunting. We saw a herd of elephants protecting a baby. We saw hippos fighting in the river. It is non-stop action. You can stay in tented camps right in the middle of the park. These are not normal tents. They have real beds. They have showers. They have great food, but the walls are canvas. That means you can hear everything. At night, you lie in bed and listen to lions roaring in the distance. You hear hyenas laughing. You realize that you are just a guest in their house. It is a humbling feeling. One of the coolest things about the Serengeti is the landscape. It is not just flat grass. You have these huge piles of rocks called kopjes. Lions love to sit on top of them to look for prey. Seeing a male lion with his mane blowing in the wind on top of a rock is the classic African image, and getting to see it with your own eyes is priceless. We also saw the Great Migration, millions of wildebeest and zebras moving together across the land. The ground actually shakes when they run, the noise is deafening. It is the greatest show on earth, and you have a front row seat. Yes, the price tag is high, but you will never regret spending money on this. Nobody comes back from the Serengeti and says it wasn't worth it. It stays with you forever. It reminds you how wild and beautiful our planet still is. If you are going to splurge on one big trip in 2026, make it this one. Number 1, Bora Bora. And here we are. Number 1, the final boss of travel destinations, Bora Bora. You might be rolling your eyes. You might think this is a cliche. Isn't Bora Bora just for honeymooners and celebrities? Isn't it just an overpriced tourist trap? It can be if you do it the wrong way, but if you do it the smart way, it is the best place on earth. First of all, let's talk about the geography. It is perfect. You have a jagged green mountain in the middle called Mount Otamanu. Surrounding it is a lagoon with water so blue it hurts your eyes. And protecting all of that is a ring of coral reef. It is calm. It is clear. It is full of life. Sharks and stingrays swim right up to you like puppies. Now, the standard way to do Bora Bora is to book an overwater bungalow at a fancy resort. That will cost you $2,000 a night, maybe more. If you have that kind of money, go for it. It is amazing, but the smart money in 2026 is doing something different. People are chartering sailboats. Instead of being stuck in one room on one beach, you rent a floating home. If you split the cost with a group of friends, it can actually be cheaper than a resort. And you get freedom. You can wake up in a different part of the lagoon every morning. You can snorkel in spots that the resort guests can't reach. You have the best view in the house because you are on the water. We spent our nights on the boat, watching the stars. There is no light pollution out there. The sky is packed with stars, and the water below glows with bioluminescence. It is peaceful on a level that is hard to describe. During the day, we took the dinghy to the mainland. We explored the little towns. We ate at local snack stands where the fish was caught that morning. We saw the real side of the island, not just the sanitized resort version. Bora Bora is number 1 because it lives up to the hype. Sometimes, famous places are disappointing when you finally see them. The Eiffel Tower is smaller than you think. The Mona Lisa is crowded, but Bora Bora is exactly what you dream it will be. It is perfection. And it is the ultimate reward for all your hard work. It is the place you go to celebrate life. So there you have it. 10 places for 2026. Some are cheap, some are expensive, but all of them are worth it. The world is changing fast. Prices are going up. Crowds are getting bigger. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is now. Book the ticket, take the ride, and go see it for yourself. I'm Ryan. Safe travels, and I will see you in the next one.